Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me. This video is about greasing the motor hub for my SMARTRAVEL e-bike. Now, as you can see here, I got some parts that I've already taken off the bike. This was really simple to take off the bike. What it is that that big bolt was the bolt that held the tire on, those big lunky bolts. And then I had to take the brake system off just so it can hang here so that the wheel could easily slide off. It was not, 5 minutes all day long is what it took me to take the big bolts off. These here hold the tire on. They got the corresponding washers. The one that goes on the inside is on top, and the one that goes on the outer side is on the out. I put them in order here. There's a tensioner that goes on the opposite side of where the brake isn't. So that's this side. The brake system's on that side. The tensioner goes on this side. You'll see how to take that off. That was really easy doing. These screws here come from the brake system, just to have that dangle there. And then you're wondering why I've got this here is because I had to take this brake plate off the actual motor hub to get to the screws. Unfortunately, the way they position the screws on this system, which slides in here, how they position the screws, you couldn't get to them with the brake guard on. So that's why I had to take the brake guard off. And then I just picked up on it and it came right out. Now this actually looks great. There's no teeth on the inner side that are broken. That's always good to see. But you can notice it needs a lot of grease. It needs a lot of grease. I mean, there definitely that entire thing can be greased. Same thing with this. You can see where the grease kind of flaked off on this unit. Where grease is supposed to be is no longer grease. There's just this plastic, this hard plastic hitting that metal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grease this whole section and grease this, and then I'll pick up on this video in a minute and we'll see what the next step is. Okay, this is the second part of the video. Here I've greased the motor. I've greased all the areas in which it felt like there was grease before. So I ran my hand over all these parts and I felt grease, old residue of grease. So I know by re-greasing it as I have here, it was the way to go. So it's really greased here. And the grease that I used, I got off Amazon. Ultra heavy duty red grease, eliminates friction and water, repels water. Oh, friction wear, repels water and corrosion, protects against ultra. It's probably overkill. And what I did is I used a latex glove and I put that on my hand and then I smeared it. I also smeared the inside here. Yes, it looks kind of chaotic, but I got all the teeth all greased up. I got the bottom part greased up where I know it must be hitting because there's a washer there that I could feel like there was grease there at one time. So I've greased all of this. I do want you to know that I lost 3 teeth. That was what that clicking was. I lost 3 teeth off this motor. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a performance issue moving forward, but if I lose more teeth off these white, I don't even know what, gears, I guess is what you want to call them, big plastic gears. The thing is those gears, those big plastic gears seem to be part of the unit. So I think I would have to replace this entire motor hub if I wanted to replace or have those teeth replaced. But I think we'll be fine. Obviously, something must have got in there that caused those teeth to wear out. But there's 1, 2, 3 right in a row that's smooth. It's on the back side of this one. I just noticed it. I'll let you guys know in the future if that's going to cause me problems. But I'm happy that I was able to get in here and grease it, because it looks like a lot of the grease that they used coming out of the factory was like here, and here, bare minimum where things were going to hit. And in all the videos that I've seen on YouTube, people have always said at the 1,000-mile mark, take this thing apart and just put the grease right to it. Some people wait until the 2,000-mile mark. My suggestion is do not. Because by greasing this, I think the odds of more of my teeth breaking off will be slim to none. I think keeping it greased will prevent any future damage. All right, let's look at part 3 in just a moment. Okay, part 3. I got the hub back together. Entire mechanism's back together. These are the screws. They were Phillips screw heads. And what I ended up doing was just using my DeWalt gun, torque gun, to get those in and get those out after I had taken this top plate off, this brake plate. So the brake plate had to come off because there's no way to get to those screws on the motor hub without that. So I've put all of those back in. They're nice and snug. Those actually went in with just an L bracket, whatever you want to call these things, just really hand tight. I mean, I really tighten them right up. So those are on. The hub's back together. Now I just got to get it back on the bike. So let's just look what it looks like after I get it back on the bike. Okay, the last part of my video. As you can see, I've got it all put back together. I put the brake system back on while the bike was upside down. I tightened all the bolts here. Put the washer, make sure the washer for the inside of the wheel, and there's a washer, or this one, it has the tension tightener here. That was really easy to put back on. Simple stuff here, guys. So you tighten that, you tighten this one. And the biggest thing you want to make sure is when you connect the power back to the hub, that this line's got 2 arrows on it. There's an arrow that on this side, there's an arrow on this side. Make sure you plug it together with the right arrows facing each other, because that's where it comes apart. But overall, for what I've shown you here in the video, I think I'm 45 minutes altogether from beginning to end. You're looking at 45 minutes worth of effort taking it apart. So now let's see, does it work? It works, but it still has that little bit of knocking that I can hear. And I think it's got to do with the 3 teeth that are missing. I think they're just hitting, and there's nothing I can do about it. Doesn't seem like I can replace those individual round metal, plastic gears that are in there. It looks like it's all welded together for the same hub. So I guess if this plagues as an issue with me, then I'm going to have to call the company and have them buy another motor mechanism to slip in here. I mean, as you can see, it's not that involved. I can't imagine a motor for this thing could cost more than a couple $100, right? I mean, I probably can find some aftermarket ones, but that's 1,000 miles on the bike, hard riding. It looks like I chipped off those 3 on the plastic gears. Reef packed this thing. Let's just hope for the best, right? I mean, I'll probably have to be plagued with a little bit of noise that we're getting out of it, but I know that it's fairly well greased. I know that if I want to grease it again, it's only going to take me about 45 minutes to grease it again. So really, let's just cross our fingers. She's ready for the winter conditions. And thank you for joining me.